Welcome back. Let's have a drink and watch TikTok videos.
If you've ever contemplated getting an electric vehicle, let this be your sign to not do that. I got the Mustang Mach-E a couple years ago and it's been probably one of the worst decisions of my life. The anxiety attacks you have in this car are unlike anything else and no one else would understand unless you drive an EV car. It's actually dangerous to drive. I fairly often have to drive from LA to San Diego and vice versa. That's what I did last night. And hypothetically speaking, it's only 150 miles. If you have a full range, like, you should be able to get there. I always leave on a full charge and somehow I'm always having anxiety that I'm not going to make it to my destination because my car is blinking at me saying I'm going to run out of mileage and energy. It says that I'm not going to make it to my destination in time and that I need to stop to charge.
Yeah, I've done that trip a bazillion times. One way, it should be no problem. I've done it usually I've done it in a Mach-E there and back. And on the way back, I had to charge. But going one way, she must be driving 90 miles an hour because that's the only way you lose that much range. Or she has the lowest range one they offer, which I've always said, range is king. Always go for the longest range option you can pick. I mean, forego other options, right? Color, wheels, or whatever, more superficial type things. Range is king when it comes to buying an EV in my book.
Problem is there's only 150 miles between those two destinations. And if I have 250 miles before I leave, like, where are those 100 miles going? You can't drive with the air conditioning on. You can't have your seat heater on. You can't be driving fast. You can't have the steering wheel heater on. Anything that takes up extra energy will just suck the life out of your battery.
Okay. Yeah. The going fast is the only thing that's a real challenge there. You're talking LA and San Diego. It doesn't get cold. There's nothing that's going to really eat the battery. So run the AC, run the heater, whatever. That's so minimal energy expenditure wise. But going fast, yeah, that you're talking physics here. So it's one of those things where it's hard to avoid the impact on that. And you have the same exact impact on gas cars. It's just a matter of you can fill up in 5 minutes and you don't care about driving fast. So there is sort of a sweet spot there of how fast you can go versus how long it takes to charge. But one way, she should be able to get that no problem. I don't know. Maybe she's just afraid of the blinking or some kind of extra warning signal.
And it's not like a gas car where you can just pull off to the side, fill up your tank a couple minutes. It's like you have to go find a charger, which is a whole other problem in itself because more often than not, you'll go find a charger, they're all broken, or there's a huge line, or it's a slow charger where you're gonna have to wait there for hours to get like 5 extra miles in your car. Or a lot of times I've diverted my directions to a charging station, wasting all those extra miles. And then I get there and there's no charging station because it's not correlated correctly to the map.
Yeah, she should have just bought a longer range EV. There's no way that you would need to stop and charge between LA and San Diego. I've done it countless times, even with my old 2013 Tesla Model S, which had only, I think, 220 miles. One way, no problem at all. I don't know what she's doing. She's probably not leaving with the full charge. And regarding charging, you can now charge your Ford at every Tesla charger out there with an adapter. So yeah, she's just a little uninformed, but her gripes are real, I think, and what she's feeling is real.
And it just gives you so much anxiety because you don't want to waste any mileage by making the wrong mistake. And if you have to be anywhere on time, just throw that idea out the window because it's never going to happen, especially if you have to charge your car.
Well, as they say, if you're important, they'll wait.
Because they don't have a proper system to keep up with the influx of how many people are having electric cars. There's not enough chargers. Once you get to a charging station, you often have to wait hours for those people to charge their car, and then you have to sit there and wait hours for you to charge your car.
No, she's wrong about that. There's no way. I mean, sometimes you'll have some backups, but that's a completely overblown. If she's doing that, she's going to some random, place with 2 chargers or something like that, and you have Uber drivers sitting there. There's no way. So she just needs to go to the Tesla chargers, of which in that exact route, which I've driven countless times, there are plenty of options.
And people think it's free. It's not free. If you get a BMW or something, they're free because my dad has one and he gets free charging at Electrify America. For example, when I charge there, it's 45 up every single time. I honestly do love this car when I'm just driving back to school and work. It's super chill if you're just driving 20 miles a day. But if you have to drive anywhere further, never take a road trip in this car, never go any long distance, especially if you don't know where there's a good charging station, or if you have to be somewhere on time, take a Uber, I don't know. And if any other EV drivers are watching this, please tell me you relate because it's the worst thing ever and not many people understand what it's like.
Yeah, so it's tough for her, I guess, because of the situation she's in, but yeah, just get a longer range EV and plan better. I mean, you find your routes if you're driving from LA to San Diego a lot, which I have been for years. It's one of those things where it's really not that big a deal. But yeah, hopefully she figures it out down the road. Let me ask you something real quick before we continue. Have you ever been in a meeting or a situation and you thought, maybe we should write this down but immediately decided against it. For me, it's more times than I can count. And that's where today's sponsor, Plod, comes in with their line of note-taking products. Plod is the only AI note-taking platform that bridges in-person, phone calls, and online meetings into one workflow. The Plod Note Pro is basically a credit card-sized AI recorder that you can carry with you everywhere. And it's built to capture what matters without slowing you down. Here's what makes it awesome. First, you can quickly get the key points, the decisions, and the action items. Since everything is synced to the cloud, you can check it on both your phone and your computer. When I'm working, I prefer using my computer. It's easier to read and helps me stay focused without constantly picking up my phone. Second, the audio is super clean, which matters a lot when you actually want transcripts that aren't a mess. And the best part is the Ask Plod. If you've taken a lot of notes, asking Plod would be the easiest way. You can ask a question, and Plod will help you find the answer. If you want to stop losing ideas and start saving time, check out the Plod Note Pro at the link below. Thanks to Plod for sponsoring this video.
So right now, I have a Fiat 500e, and it has like no range in this.
This is amazing. I assume she's in the US, where the Fiat 500e is only the ones that were compliance cars from, was it the early 2000s in California? So I don't know how she got this. Maybe she's in like a Northern California or something where there's snow. But first off, I love that car. It is unbelievable. I remember when I reviewed it, it was, I think you could buy a used one for like $6,000-$7,000. And it was the most, you're just smiling ear to ear 24/7 driving that thing. This environment that she's living in, yeah, that is not the car for that. I mean, I don't even know how that thing would handle in the snow. There's no traction control on the one that I drove. So yeah, I don't blame her on this at all. It's not going to be the best in this environment.
It's very beautiful, but affects battery life. This is also a 1950s build with no grounded plugs, so not safe to plug in a charger. But, oh my gosh, this is so thick.
That's what she said?
Here we go. It just reaches. I have this routed, this AC charger routed through the deck. Here we go. Into, not even my landlord knows what this room is for. It just kind of exists. But
is there no electricity in the garage already? Is there not an outlet anywhere where the car is parked? This seems silly. Or maybe this is just for normal time when it's not snowed out like this.
A grounded plug. Yes!
Oh, right. Yeah, there is a thing where you have to, the charger, it's called EVSE. It's actually not even a charger. It's just basically a plug and a safety device to make sure you don't burn your house down. Requires it to be grounded. And so there is a way you can do that with a bonded plug, I think it's called, where it actually connects the neutral and the ground. So it makes it think that it's ground. There's ways around what she's dealing with, because I dealt with that in my old home, which was my first house, where I got my first Tesla, which was a 1950s house as well. So same kind of situation, but we had an electrician install like an extra dryer outlet, and he connected the wires correctly. So whatever. But yeah, that is kind of a weird situation. There is a way around it though. She just doesn't know about it.
Tesla scammed me.
And you deserved it. I'm just kidding.
Car I just bought is already outdated. Well,
is that a plaid Model Y? Or did he just buy a fake plaid? Do they make plaid? I'm so out of it. I don't know. But that looks like a plaid sticker on a Model Y, which this new Model Y, my opinion, fugly is the right word for that. God, it looks like a BYD, which BYDs have things about them that are cool, but the appearance of them is not cool.
What do I mean? Plus, do you think you could fit 2 more seats right in here?
I've seen it. It actually works. In a pinch, those 2 extra seats will work.
Well, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Every single new Tesla Model Y Premium and Performance comes with a black headliner in the US. What am I talking about? Let me show you.
What am I talking about?
So inside of these Teslas, it's called a headliner. And if you don't know what that is, it's this thing.
It's like Billie Eilish at Coachella, right? Headliner?
That wraps all the way around the car. So now my brand new Model Y Performance that I just bought, and I love it, now the new ones come with a black headliner instead of that gray headliner.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's a scam right there. They changed the color from gray to black. What a travesty in the world today. Nothing else going on in the world that's worth talking about, right? Just this is what we need to complain about online. What a luxury.
But let me tell you something. Do you think you could fit 2 more seats in this car? Well, Tesla just came out with a 7-seater for $2,500.
Just came out. Bro, I don't know where you've been. I think I did a review of one like 5 years ago.
Where are the seats gonna go? Let me show you. Right back here. Right back there. So now in the trunk, let me show you a better angle.
Does he have it? I can't believe he thinks this is new. This is the funny thing about Tesla is there's so many people that are like new to it and they're like, oh my God, they just did this. You're like, where were you 7-8 years ago?
Do you think you can fit 2 more seats in here?
Yeah, I've done the video on it, yes.
So this again is a Model Y. Now the dimensions are not going to change. It is a normal Model Y, not the longer version that we've seen in China. What do you think? Do you think you can fit 2 more seats in here?
Yes.
Well, for $2,500, you can now get a Model YL.
The cool thing actually was the Model S, which had reverse like jumper seats, like seats facing backwards. That was, I think, the coolest time ever. You could probably find a used one out there. They stopped doing it because apparently it was like a big pain in the butt to manufacture this, like, you know, nobody really bought it. So it's kind of like a bespoke, like one-off niche item. Anyways, yeah, totally. Yeah, is the answer here. And this guy's just a noob.
So this Tesla, the Performance that I just bought.
Did they come with that thing? Or did he buy that like a fake plaid sticker? God, if they did that, that is so lame that they're actually putting that. I mean, it's really like devalues the idea of a plaid model.
Already outdated. They now have a black headliner and a 7-seater option for the Model Y. So which one would you rather have? The gray headliner, or would you pay $2,500 for this to match that?
First off, the interior of it is garbage. I'm sorry. They really ruined it by taking out the wood. The whole thing sucks. They've really, like, you know, I'd say shit the bed when it comes to the new Model Y design.
Do not buy an electric car unless you can afford $8,000 or so to have a supercharger put into your home garage.
Oof, $8,000. You must have a ginormous house and had to replace the panel or something else. There's no way it would be $8,000 unless you also, unless you had to replace the panel was big and you had to run the lines super far. I mean, that would be the worst scenario I've ever heard of that. The thing a lot of people don't realize is you can just put a regular dryer outlet that's like 30 amps. You don't necessarily have to upgrade your panel. There are ways to get around that, but people are just being sold things and don't know anything about electricity. So, you know, it kind of happens.
I don't have a house, so that's not even an option for me.
So how do you know? God.
But I went to go charge my car and there was one guy waiting before me, so cool, I wait. And I see him get out and he's talking to this other guy, and this guy is saying how one of the cars has been there fully charged and the person is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, this happens a lot with Ubers or non-Tesla chargers. I think Electrify America was putting it in place now where they're going to start charging you an idle fee. Tesla put this into place years ago to avoid this exact scenario, especially at superchargers, because superchargers, you're in and out of there 15, 20, 30 minutes tops.
I sat there for 20 minutes until this lady finally came to get her car, and then I had to give her the business. I think I was pretty nice, no cussing, but no consideration for other people's time.
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine that I worked with at EV Decide, Jeremiah, created this thing, and I forget what we were going to call it, where like you can put something around, like on your windshield, like a QR code, and it would be a way to communicate between, you know, the person needing to charge and the person charging to say, hey, if you're just convenience charging, can you come move your car? And it would keep the communication anonymous using like some really cool backend type systems. But, you know, we never really kind of launched it. But I do think that it would be nice if there was sort of a universal way, and maybe even like auto manufacturers would adopt it, because it would help solve that problem where people just leave their car sitting there forever. Certainly at a level 2 charger where it's going to take hours likely, that's where, you know, this happens more often than not.
Whatsoever. And she gets there and she's like messaging on her phone, and I was like, you need to get in your car and go. You need to be more considerate of people's time. This is absolutely ridiculous. I am over it.
Yeah, I don't blame her. If you're stuck dealing with public charging, and I don't think she's in a Tesla here, so she's using Electrify America or some of these other ones that aren't as efficient, aren't as good, then I could see it could be a real problem. This is the thing, is I think people get into this, they get up on the hype, and then they go drive an EV, and it's so fun, and it's so fast, and it's quiet, and it rides smooth. There's so many great things about it that you're just like, yes. And then you're like, I'll figure that out later. That's where it becomes a challenge, and people sort of get stuck in these situations. So everyone should just, it does take a bit more thought than, oh, this is cool, let me buy it. So yeah, she's sort of stuck in that, and it's unfortunate, but I don't blame her at all.
Do not buy an EV car, you guys. It's not worth it. I don't save money having this car, and if I want to go out of town, you basically, it racks on hours to your trip.
I don't know what she means by out of town. It looks like she's probably in Arizona, so I don't know where she's talking about, but it won't add on hours to your trip unless you absolutely have to go, from LA to Chicago or something.
If you've been waiting for cheap Chinese cars, they just got one step closer, and U.S. car dealers are in panic mode. Here is the deal. Canada just broke with the U.S. and cut its import tariffs on Chinese EVs from 100% to just 6.1%.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
That means inexpensive BYDs and other Chinese cars are entering the North American market, and U.S. dealers are not happy.
I think Zeekr already has a plant in Mexico, and you can buy them in Mexico as well. So they're going to make their way into the U.S. I actually looked at this because I thought, well, can I just buy it and just drive it over? Apparently not, because the car, in order to register it, at least in California, it has to be like certified in the U.S. first. So you'd have to like pay to get the car certified to be street legal or something like that. When I looked into it, it was just not feasible. But you can buy them, or at least, a year or so ago, you already could buy Zeekr, which one of the Chinese brands in Mexico. And Zeekr is amazing, by the way, if you've ever seen one in person.
The head of the dealer association said that allowing these cars in is bad for the country and bad for consumers. Basically, they're worried that once these cars hit Canada, it's only a matter of time before they make their way down to the U.S. and undercut their pricing. We posted a report on this on our site today. And when the story made it to Reddit, we did not see a lot of commenters running to the defense of car dealers. One user says, in Australia, the BYD fleet entrance to the country made EV prices plummet. It's wonderful for consumers. Another user was a little more direct, saying it's going to completely punch the U.S. market.
Yeah, if actually, now the thing is, so I live in Europe, right? And I ride in BYDs all the time. Basically, all the Uber electrics here are BYDs, and they're cool. They're great. I like them a lot. The price of them, the features inside, but it's not like it is revolutionary in any way. It's not like I get in the BYD and I'm like, oh my God, this is the most amazing car ever. I get in a Porsche Taycan and I'm like, oh my God, this thing's unbelievable. The deal is at the price. So, and even the cheap one, there's a couple different names. I think it's called like the Dolphin Surf or Sea Lion Surf or something. I don't know. The small, like here in Europe and here in Spain, it's 12,000 euros. It's pretty fugly. It's more fugly than the Model Y for sure. But it's one of those things where I'm looking at it for 12,000 euros, brand new, good range, decent specs. Cool. I get why people would buy it. But I don't think people are going to like rush out to get it in the US if that was available today. Some of the other ones for sure, and probably more on the luxury side. If you're already going to spend $70,000, $80,000 on a car, and now you can get a crazy Chinese SUV with all these other specs, I think the luxury ones would probably win out. The cheap ones, maybe if you can get in that $20,000 to $30,000 price range, but we'll see. I mean, I still don't see them coming into the US market with the current orange administration that's in place.
What do you think? Should we be able to buy Chinese cars in America or what?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I think if they did that, it would open up it would incentivize the competition in the U.S. market. Whereas right now, Chevy, actually, I think Chevy's fine. Ford walking back the Ford Lightning plans and all that is just putting them further and further behind, where the U.S. automakers may cease to exist in a few years because of how the administration is incentivizing them to go back on these plans, which everyone else in the world is moving towards. It's a silly thing. Like, once you get your head out of this bubble from America and the news cycle there, you realize like everyone in the world is going electric super fast, and it's a race versus these guys are like stuck in neutral, just kind of lagging behind. It's kind of sad, honestly.
Canada doesn't need more EV, it needs this kind of EV. You're looking at a new species of EVs. What's under here is a REV system.
It's just called extended range electric vehicle, not REV from my understanding. So this is actually really cool. I like this idea a lot. I don't think it's entirely necessary, but in places like Canada, the US, which are enormous, I could see the value prop for people.
Which is a range extended EV. So REV, yes, you can put fuel.
Wait, range extended EV would be REEV. I think you missed this one up.
In it, but the fuel doesn't directly power the car. The fuel only power the generator that is in front of the car.
Now, I came up with this idea a bazillion years ago. I thought of this idea on the old podcast I had with Tim and Joe, and they both laughed at it because I thought, sure, let's make a car. So it's the opposite of a plug-in hybrid. A plug-in hybrid EV is a gas car that has a battery to power it at for some amount, 10, 20, 30 miles, whatever. This is the opposite. It's an EV with a gas generator to power the battery. So the vast majority of the time, you're getting the benefits of driving electric, and then the gas generator only kicks in to refuel the battery. I love this idea compared to a plug-in hybrid. I do see the value in it in certain cases, but I still basically don't think it's necessary for 99% of people, especially not in Europe or places where you don't drive that much, But in the US, Texas, there are places where I could see the value of having this. Or if you like off-roading and stuff, and you don't want to be stuck out there, it's easy to just get a gallon of gas and get back to a charger versus, trying to charge it up somehow, because you can't even have a portable battery. I've done a dozen videos on this idea of like a gas can battery thing, and it sucks.
The generator generates electricity, and the car is still running on electricity. And this car's got a total range over 1,600 kilometers with a pure EV range over 220 kilometers.
So that has a massive gas tank, and that's kind of sad. And that's honestly the thing I've seen from most EREVs in China is that they'll have a very small battery and then they can throw in gallons and gallons. Now that might be fine if you think about it. Let's say you have 150 miles of range on a battery. That's fine for almost every trip you're doing. It's only when you go off to, a longer road trip and then you throw 2 gallons of gas in there. I think it'd be great to not burn any fossil fuels, but at the same time, if we're going to cut fossil fuels by 90% by doing this and eliminate range anxiety, I would support it.
In Canada, when winter hits, EVs are just miserable. Gas, expensive. EVs are expensive. So you're kind of stuck. But here in China, we solved that. Range extended EVs. You drive on electricity, but when winter hits, a gas engine generates electricity for you. So there's no range anxiety. You might have seen my videos. Chery Fullwind T11, Chery Fullwind X3L. These cars exploded on my channel because these are the cars that cold countries actually need. Are these exact models are coming to Canada? We don't know yet. But what is confirmed is Chery is coming. And these tech are made for you guys.
I like it. I think that there's a good value prop there for certain people. And in the future, we hopefully won't need any of this, especially with things like sodium batteries. But hey, right now, if this is the next step in this transition, I could see value in it.
Behind me is the most powerful SUV on the planet.
Forrest, what's up, dude? Miss you. Yeah, see, Zeekr, I told you guys, Zeekr is unbelievable in what they offer. Now, they're more premium than like BYDs and stuff, although I think BYD has a couple high-end models. But Zeekr is like, if you've never seen one, check this out.
This has 3 electric motors, 2 in the back, 1 in the front, and in total, it makes 1,400 horsepower.
This is what I'm saying. 1,400 horsepower in an SUV, unbelievable.
It has a 70 kilowatt hour battery pack that can charge in 9 minutes at 400 kilowatts. But on longer trips, I can put gas into my engine. That doesn't power the car, it just generates electricity on the go to give me over 700 miles of range.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Value, I get it. 1,200 kilometers, 745 miles of range total with the gas. That's more than a gas car has already. So, and then you can just refill it if you have to, if you're driving literally in the middle of nowhere. So you don't have to stop and think about it on a road trip, but then 99% of your trips just around town or whatever are fully electric and you just plug it in. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. I don't know how maintenance and repairs and any kind of problems that may arise are, but I'm telling you, I think that there's a market here for this, especially in the US.
I also get these gorgeous wheels, air suspension to keep me comfortable, and 2 NVIDIA chips to power the LiDAR for self-driving.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right way to do it, right? LiDAR, self-driving. China knows what they're doing when it comes to these. No one really beats them in the tech or the quality of the EVs. They just don't.
Shut the door, I just push my foot on the brake. I also get a panoramic roof with this massive opening. I get speakers in my roof, tweeters in my headrest, bass speakers in my seats that are heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get a passenger screen, a main screen that works super fast, 2 wireless charging pads with fans to cool off my phone, this glass crystal volume knob, I get cup holders, storage space in there, secret storage space in there, and secreter storage space in my door.
I mean, I'm telling you, they just went down to the design team and said, yes, 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 yes. That's how they did make these cars. Now this is going to be expensive for sure, but what are you talking about here? Imagine like a Rolls-Royce SUV compared to this. I think it's going to beat it, especially on the tech, the range, 1400 horsepower. I mean, come on. This is unbelievable. If this were available in the US, I guarantee Range Rover sales and all those kind of high-end ones would absolutely plummet and everybody would be buying this.
Did I mention how quiet this was? The back is pretty much the same. Speakers, pillows, bass speakers, heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get a table in the back of my seat. I can push this to shut my door, and this is my favorite part.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've never seen something as luxurious in tech and just dope as this one is right
Now
here.
I can fully recline with a heated leg rest. I also get a footrest, a cooler that can keep all of my drinks cold, and I get a removable tablet.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I just hope that I never own one of these and my kids never get this spoiled because there is no going back.
I can use this to control everything inside of the car, and I can deploy my rear TV.
It just keeps going.
Now I can watch movies in my 3K OLED display, and did I mention swivel mode? Now you can chill out and talk with your friends. The people in the third row get their own sunscreen shades, cup holders, heated seats, recline, and their own moonroof. At night, you get gorgeous ambient lighting, and my key has an actual crystal inside of it. Not bad for $83,000.
There you go. Now that's a direct conversion from the Chinese yuan. And so obviously it'd be more, but still, look at what you're getting. That thing, I mean, you could easily sell that for 150,000 US dollars and people would be lined up to buy it. You know, it's an EV, so it's convenient, yet rides smooth. You know, you don't have the noise or the smell of the gas engine. And yet, if you need to go on a long trip, bang, throw a couple gallons of gas in there and you're good. But on, you know, most days you just plug it in when you get home and you have all the convenience and benefits of an EV. Service would be a problem, I guess. But, you know, before they are even allowed to sell these, they probably have at least 3-ish years to go before that'd be possible. Yeah, unbelievable. Keep them coming. And thanks for watching.